Fire Guy Ryan in the house, comic fam. It's podcast number 58, The Bags and Boards Show.
It's so hot in here.
It's caliente, Ryan. I don't know what happened, dude. Comic fam, we need AC.
Is it hot outside? It was cold when I got here.
It's cold, not in here.
Like hours ago.
All right, so this is the best podcast, comic book themed content show in the world. I said it kind of weird, but that's what you get when you're, oh my goodness.
This does not bode well for the show.
It's just what's happening, man.
We're
you know,
to go with it. We're starting.
We're starting it. We're just gonna keep it flowing. I thought I saw an alien this week.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna get into that. We have dollar bin diving that we're gonna talk about.
Which one is cooler?
I know.
The dollar bin.
Probably the dollar bins.
Was it in a dollar bin? Did you see an alien in the
I'm
dollar
going to get to
Okay.
it. Hit the like, slap the subscribe, comic fam. Stay tuned to the end of the show. We have a packed show. We're going to be talking about funny books, but we're talking about comic books that we've read, and it's going to be a very fun time. Jubilant. Jubilant? I can't even say it. Help me out, Ryan.
What?
Jubilant. It's going to be a hoot.
A hoot?
It's going to be a hoot.
Are you Canadian now?
A little bit.
A hoot? A hoot?
A hoot. A hoot. All right, it's going to be a hoot.
Oh my
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm swating. It's just hot.
It's
This is just what happens. And we're going to have a packed show today. We're talking about dollar bin diving. And as mentioned, I've almost saw an alien.
And aliens.
We're getting into that. We're getting into the comic books that we've read. We're also going to talk about,
Viewer comments.
that's right, what you have said in our videos,
The
on our
good
videos.
ones, though.
The good
We
ones.
really talk about the good ones.
Just the good ones.
There's a lot of stinkers in there. You guys got to big, better comments.
Comment on our videos. It enters you to win giveaways. Omni-Man, Invincible #1. This is a Tyler Kirkham Whatnot variant that you could enter to win. You just have to comment, but not just in the chat. Like, you got to comment on the video and all the clips. Like, it's everywhere. Just comment everywhere. It's going to increase your odds of actually winning something. And the giveaways are getting better. So, let me tell you about the sponsors that make this show happen.
Let's do that.
First things first, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, and iTunes if you don't have a whole lot of time, because we go kind of long to just watch our faces while we talk about comic books. We'll do our best to describe the comic books, but you can't find us on those platforms. And take a look at this. This right here is the best new app to buy and sell collectibles, funny books, Pokemon cards, vintage clothing, records, but we're there for the comic books. This right here is my Whatnot page. Comic Tom 101. It says Comic Fam. You see the logo. This is how you can find me over there. This right here is a app that sources the best sellers in our community, vets them, makes sure that they're doing things right. You know, making sure that the comics that they say that they're the grades that they are actually the grades they are. And they also handle shipping and not whatnot, but like the dealers are shipping things right. And this is filled with some of the most amazing live streams in any marketplace that I've ever seen. And I mean that because these are dollar start auctions, or as low as dollar start, that last as little as 15 seconds long. And it's getting crazy over there. It's just getting so poppin'. The competition is fierce. The community is coming in like it's a swarm of bees. I love it. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Boom. This right here, we have Batman Adventures Mad Love. This right here is the origin of Harley Quinn out of DC continuity. Joker cover, Harley Quinn cover, difficult book to secure in high grade at a 9.8. This will be a dollar start auction that will last under 60 seconds. So I gotta remember that. I'm gonna have to do like 45 seconds now. But I'm gonna hold myself to it. Tomorrow, 5 p.m., click on the bookmark right there. You see it right here? That's me. That's Head in Heavens. And we are going to be hitting the mic with a bunch of awesome books, some keys, and more. So come see us tomorrow.
I thought you said...
What did you think I
I
said?
You said cheese.
We're also bringing cheese. I did just get back from Leavenworth.
Starting at $1.
That's
this
true.
block of cheese. Let's go.
Dude, you don't want cheese? If I had cheese on my stream, you're telling me you wouldn't be there, Ryan?
I mean, you gotta cater to all markets.
It's exactly what I've been telling you, man.
Comic collectors.
You gotta expand,
The cheese,
change
cheese
it up.
collectors.
All right, the other major way that keeps the show afloat, keeps everything going, we have the mystery mail call. We're currently in active enrollment for May. This is the subscription service where you give us an excuse to send you comic books every single month. And this month, one per box, getting you ready, prepared for Boys Season 3, which premieres in June, by the way. We have a Starlight cover of Boys number 7, the first appearance of Stormfront. Yes, we took the original run back to press with the power of Dynamite Comics and Ben Templesmith, horror artist legend. And we made this cover for the comic fam, going out one per box at random. The box is $35 plus shipping, comic fam. We're packing more exclusives in this box almost every month. We did 3 guaranteed last month with some members that received a 4th. Yeah, it's getting pretty crazy over there.
A lot.
It's getting to be a lot. So come join us. Also, take a look at this. Someone's going to get this book, ASM 122, The Death of the Green Goblin. ComicTom101.com. But enough of that. Let's get to the show. We're talking about some comic books that we read. But before we get to it, I got to tell you about aliens. I'm in Leavenworth. Can you describe Leavenworth?
I have not heard this story, for the record.
I'm committed to getting authentic reactions from Fire Guy Ryan.
Leavenworth.
Give them a little bit of a taste of like what this town is like and what you can expect. Because when something weird happens there, it's different than it happening in the city.
Can you Google it?
Just explain it. Explain it.
I don't know why this town is the way that it is, but it's basically like a small little German mountain town that has somehow been sent through a time portal into eastern Washington.
So as you go over the pass, you know, I'm in Washington. We're about 45 minutes north of Seattle. You
We're
can
on the
go
west side.
on the west side. If you go to the east side, 2 hours, 2.5 hours out, you go over the mountain. You know, you can go snowboarding up there wherever you want. But then you keep going a little bit further down, and you'll pass through a town called Leavenworth. It's a city, and you're correct. It's like a German-themed city. Now, it's a big city.
It's very strange.
Every store there has the same type of like aesthetic. Their signs are, if in order for the store to exist, they have to abide by the city's rules. So even like the Wells Fargo's, the McDonald's
looks goofy as hell.
The
cool,
logos
though.
are in the German style, and I think there's a name for it. Don't matter. It's like it's really cool though, and it's a lot of like antique shops and just like Leavenworth town.
I didn't know that's where you
stores.
went. I just knew you were gone, and I was here taking care of Butch.
It's a cool place to go to when you don't want to go, like when you're out here in Washington, you want to go like out of state, you want to drive somewhere, but you want to feel like you're somewhere else. But
Right.
this place is like in the middle of nowhere.
I saw Ratatouille in theaters in Leavenworth.
Ratatouille.
Last time I was there was 2007.
I love that movie, man.
It's a great one.
Definitely don't see that ending coming. Like he was dead the whole time. What? So crazy. So in the middle of Leavenworth.
A dead rat in his head the whole time.
The whole time.
Under his hat.
That was that was a
restaurant.
Parks and Rec joke somewhere buried deep in there,
Wow.
comic fam. I want to
Okay.
see in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. So in Leavenworth, it's like a barren city outside of the town though. Like there's houses and there's stuff, but
I really feel like we should have a picture of Leavenworth up while we're talking about
oh my
it.
gosh, should I get it?
We got the technology.
Oh, you're
We've got
killing
the
me,
documents.
Ryan. Leavenworth, Washington. Let's see if I can pull it up. All right, so take a look at this town because I got to set the stage here.
We could talk about it.
You're making this whole bit so much longer than it needs to be,
That's
Ryan.
fine, man. We got time.
All right, take a look at this.
I like
So
everything
this right
important to
here is like a taste of it. So you have like,
Okay.
you know, really open waters, and I guess there's moose out there. See, but-
Antlers.
Oh my goodness, good food. I had a lot of pretzels while I was
I
there.
was just saying Google
It kind of looks like this.
Yep.
That's a
Like
person.
that lady.
This is why I don't do this, Ryan.
You should have just gone to Google Images. Just hit Leavenworth
Oh
and
my
look at some
gosh,
pictures.
Ryan, telling me what to do,
That's fair.
pissing me off.
That's what I do.
Get out. I'm just kidding. I love you, Ryan.
It's fine. I'll
Okay,
leave.
here's it.
I'll leave.
So just describe it while I pull it up then for you.
It's like, it's also very hard to spell. I'm learning. It's like the sound of music. Ooh.
Okay, here we go. This is a
Boom.
better shot. This is the better shot of it. So
It's
this is what
magical.
Leavenworth looks like. Okay, so we have, oh my gosh.
It's like you're traveling to a different time
this is no
and
good.
place.
Okay, so here, it does. It looks magical, and that all, like, it looks like this. Looks like you're in like a German town. Like every
Like you're in Beauty
building
and the
looks
Beast
like.
or something.
Yeah, it's like this is what it looks like in the winter. It's a beautiful place, right? And the McDonald's look like this, and like the store, the grocery stores, like, you know, and there's people who live here. It's a beautiful place. So I really enjoy it. So
There we go. Thank you, Tom.
you're welcome. You happy, Ryan?
I'm so happy.
Okay, so I got a bed and breakfast that was about 15 minutes out of the city. So you have to like walk down this really long road, and you're seeing nothing but like fields of horses. And
15-minute walk? You walked?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
good.
walked. I was walking back and forth because, like, you know, you go to Leavenworth to kind of like drink and stuff. I don't want to be stuck like being the designated driver, you know, the whole
Sure.
time. So I'd rather just take a 15-minute walk. You know, I'm trying to work out, trying to get muscles and stuff. Bavaria. That's same thing. It's like Bavaria. They call it
Bavaria. Thank you.
That's the name.
That's what we're thinking of.
So it's like 1 o'clock it's like midnight. Okay, 1 o'clock in the morning.
So you're wasted.
I'm not wasted, but I'm
you're
a little okay. For real,
You're
I'm a little intoxicated.
You're not sober.
I'm definitely less sober than I usually am,
Okay.
and sober enough to know that I was experiencing something crazy.
So you were doing this while I was here hanging out with Butch.
So I'm going, and you know what I'm gonna have to do this again. I'll pull it up. So we're walking, and I'm walking, and I'm with someone, and we're going down, and we're just walking, we're chatting, and we look up at the sky, and this is some of like the most beautiful stars you're gonna see because it's just there's no lights.
Yep.
So you can see everything, right? It's crazy how small we are in the cosmos, and we're looking up, and we see a trail of lights that look like stars. That when you're looking up at it, they were moving at a pace like this. And there was at least 30 to 45 stars moving across the sky, and then they disappeared. You know, the person I was with, they say, "What the hell is that?" And we're both there just staring in bewilderment, trying to figure out. There's no airplanes. We're in the middle of nowhere, and we see something just in a span of like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, appear and disappear. And it rocked my reality, Ryan.
This is like some Blue Book stuff. This is exactly the.
I started talking about Blue Book.
Okay.
I started thinking about Blue Book and Jimmy T. Shout out. But we get back because, you know, there's always an explanation. Did you know that Elon Musk has sent like multiple satellites into the sky to help like with the internet goals that he has?
He shoots all kinds of stuff into space.
Yeah, so I have to show you this. Elon Musk satellites. Look at this. Check this out, comic fam. This is what we saw in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
So imagine just seeing this at like 1 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the night, just pass by you. This is right here is how he's like planning on funding the Mars mission is with stuff like this. So we had no idea about this. I want to see in the chat, does anyone else know that this is a real thing? It's been happening since 2019. I have never heard of this. But when this took place, I, for a solid 15 minutes on the walk back, thought,
I'm about to die.
we called someone. We're like, just so you know, we saw something. And in case we don't, like, you never hear from us again, we're not going to Blue Book this kind of thing. Like, we're going to document the call.
Thankfully, it wasn't me because I wouldn't have answered. I don't answer phone calls.
It was crazy, Ryan. So that is a long story to get to. Nice house on the lake.
I guess that's tangentially related. Like,
Yeah, well, there's aliens in Nice House on the Lake.
yeah,
We know that
it's
now.
Jimmy T, so
Okay.
I guess it's connected.
So here's the thing I want to pose a question to. What if you were a part of a group of friends that were kidnapped and forced to watch the end of the world? That's what you have with Nice House on the Lake. And Ryan, we chatted about this book briefly first. Explain why it was only like a 6-page review. Because we basically said a third of the way through the review, we're not going to tell you anything else.
We decided to talk about this book like the week that it came out. Issue 1 was, for me, like a life-changing experience. Like, I loved this comic.
I want to
It
see in the
shook me.
chat, do you remember exactly how we like broke down the moment that Ryan got to the big reveal in issue 1 and he texted me
Yep.
and he freaked out like we were teenagers? It was a beautiful thing, Ryan.
It was a good moment. You knew it was something special when you were reading issue 1 of this, and we wanted to make sure we told you guys, we told the world, like, please go read this book. We can't fully explain to you why you need to read this without spoiling the fun,
Right.
but go trust us and go get this comic.
Side note, Comics with Buellers in the chat. We love you, brother. And he said that happened to me in the 90s. So
The alien
the
thing?
alien thing
Okay.
or the apocalyptic thing
Sure.
with your friends being kidnapped. So
Either one.
now that the first arc is done and we are on like the second arc, which is, it's got like 4 more issues left.
Second half of the story, yeah.
It's almost done. We thought no better time than to go back, make sure we're refreshed, read it all again, and then hit the mic to break down some of our favorite parts about this book and get into why this is one of the funnest books that we've read in quite a long time.
I ranked this as my favorite comic of 2021 on my own YouTube channel.
But damn it, who are the creative
James Tynion the Fourth,
team?
Jimmy T, of course, and Alvaro Martinez Bueno.
Oh my goodness. Do you have your wallet on you?
Yes.
Prove yourself. You know what I'm talking about, Ryan. This is why you have to hit the subscribe button, Comic Fam.
I don't have my debit card in here, but I do have my Onion Club.
That's right. Comic Fam, we are Onion Club official members. Don't get it twisted. When we talk about Jimmy T books, we be certified, essentially.
I lost my debit card, but I did not lose that.
And you can follow me on Instagram at ComicTom101 because I like to make... I like making people feel awkward sometimes. I'm a kind of a prankster at heart, you know? And I try to pay with my Tiny Onion card. And it doesn't work. And I'm like,
it doesn't work.
It never works.
You just got to keep trying it.
But I do post to my story on Instagram when I do it. I'm like trying to get my Starbucks and I'm giving them my Jimmy T card. All right, so we have The Nice House on the Lake. And what's really fun about this book is that it's just one of those things where it's like you take the parts of your childhood, just like the fantastical things that you think about when you're a kid. Like, oh, how cool would it be if I was older, if I was just like walking down the street and this guy just drove up in a really, really nice car and it came out and it's like, here's a car, keep it. You know, like those type of moments as a kid that you make up in your head that are just like impossible. What if I could just write down something that I want in the world and then it just shows up?
Oh.
You know, like these types of things. You're like, how fun would that be? Ryan has no idea what I'm talking about. Let me know in the chat if you know what I'm talking about.
My head was going in a totally different direction when you said a strange man drives up as you're walking down the street as a child. But
no, you know, like you just
maybe that says more about me.
Yes, I think it does, Ryan. But you know, Nice House on the Lake, it takes some of these fantastical ideas and makes them a reality. We have a group of individuals who all get invited to one of the most beautifully drawn houses in comic book history.
That's true.
The thing is gorgeous.
He did have to take a long time to fully design and draw out the whole house, and like an architect, basically.
Bueno, man. It's fantastic. He spent a lot of time researching to make sure that this house felt like someplace you would want a vacation to, someplace you would like to live, someplace that you could see yourself living forever, because that's what this story's about. We have The Nice House on the Lake, and this group of friends, they all join together. And the first thing I thought of was, this has to get optioned. This is such an easy horror movie to do, because you have one location, you also have the outside, but that's pretty much it. You don't really need anything else. You get flashes, you know, temporary flashes to like reality and what's happening outside of the house.
Some flashbacks here and there, so I mean, it's not entirely all in one location.
Right.
But it is. I mean, the title of the book is The House. You know, The Nice House. It's about the house.
And take a look at this. The art's superb. The character designs are stellar. Each comic follows one full character. I've heard a lot of commentary about this book. I like to look up negative reviews on comics too, because I want to see like what do people have problems with?
Sure.
Because I'm so optimistic about it. So I guess maybe I'm easy to please as it pertains to funny books, but I just think some people miss on the beauty of some of these types of books, because I hear like characterization, like just character development being something that there isn't enough of because there's so many characters in it. Because you have a group of friends, over 10, that you're getting to know over a short 12 issues, and we're not even all the way through 12 issues. So I completely disagree. I think each issue follows, well, they do follow one character. You really get to know them, and then you move on to the next character in the next book. And what are some of the characters that we have? Different specialists in their own right.
Right. They're kind of mostly, you can see it here in this picture. They're mostly referred to by their job or their occupation. I guess you've got a comedian, you've got an artist, you got a scientist, you got a consultant,
photographer,
another kind of artist. Yeah, exactly. I do agree that it is kind of hard to piece them together, but thankfully in the back half of these issues, they've got the sheet at the back page, which they should have had the whole time, which gives you a list of all the characters and what their jobs are and their titles and all that. And it can get overwhelming, but I think this book, more than a lot of others, really rewards a reread. Go back with the information you learned from later issues and start over. It's also just really fun to read again, because I love this comic.
You know what else I love? Walter.
Yeah.
This character right here is so fascinating. Low key, do you think that Jimmy T is writing himself in his own comics? Is this potentially like the essence of Jimmy T to a degree?
It looks a lot like him.
Well, I mean, we have like the glasses, and there's certain little things within this book, and I'll let the community be the judge. But I can't help but feel that there is a.
It would be him.
Yeah, I know.
Missing
Right?
the beard.
We may have to have someone do some Photoshop here and see what Walter looks like with a beard.
I do love the fact that he looks a lot like Clark Kent too. I think that can't be a coincidence.
There we go.
Or can it?
So this right here is Walter, who is the person who brings everybody to the nice house on the lake for a very particular reason, to make them experience and view from a distance at a very nice location. Well, first,
I love these layouts.
Look at the layouts. Look at the panels. This is what you get with Jimmy T. A lot of planning. A lot of fun. I mean, this is a place you want to be, but look at the bottom panel here. We see someone looking at her phone. They're there to experience from a distance the end of the world. And not just the end of the world, a terrible end to the world. People spontaneously combusting, lighting on fire, their face melting off everywhere. This is what they are. This is what you get hit with. This is a page of the comic book. You get these really cool like narratives that are told through text messages, through notepads and just
Emails
scribbles and emails, etc.
Transcripts and stuff.
I feel like some people may not like that. It's a little bit of a Jonathan Hickman vibe. I enjoy that stuff.
I specifically heard people on Instagram, especially with the Department of Truth. He does that a lot too. There's a few issues that are just text. Like just completely text with not a lot of images in there. And that bugs a lot of people, but I really like that. I think it's a nice change of pace.
Walter is not who you believe him to be, not who his friends think and thought he was.
God, I love this image.
Walter is from somewhere else. And the first story arc is trying to figure out the why. Why were these friends brought together by this mysterious figure? Why is this mysterious figure incredibly terrifying? Why can't they leave? Why were they chosen to survive? And why the torment? You know? Crack open a beer. Enjoy your time. But no, everybody you know and love are probably on fire right now.
It's very hard to imagine somebody like being calm in the face of this entire situation happening.
Right?
Although to be fair, I don't think he planned on them discovering what happened to the outside world, at least not yet.
All right, so we have for pages that are like, they're being watched, you know, low key. Is there an experiment going on? And I have to point out some of these pages here. This is the kind of stuff that gets me really into the world. It lets me kind of escape reality. That's why we read comics, right?
I would agree. And they got this like vacation schedule laid out here on the left. And then on the right, you can see them trying to brainstorm and figure out what all these symbols mean. Like, because they have a symbol that identifies who they are as well. Symbols throw me
It's
off.
a quest of why we're here and what to do in your downtime to stay sane, because you can do anything you want. We'll get to some of those things. But also, what's the purpose? You know? And it turns into a discovery.
Kind of a treasure hunt sort of thing. This comic, I've described it this way before, but this book, more than any other comic I've ever read, makes me think of Lost.
Absolutely. Do you know those moments in Lost, like the polar bear is on an island. There's a giant kaiju that you can't see. Oh, they've been on the island for 30 years, or at least people have been here for 30 years. Like those shocking moments, the vault, right?
Right. The hatch.
The hatch. Thank you.
But just the idea of like experiencing a story and then getting hit with this like crazy thing that happens, and you go like, no way, this doesn't make sense. What the hell?
You have more questions than answers, and it almost feels
reading.
like you don't get those answers ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes with Lost, and if you do, the answer is a little bogus.
Look at this, comic fam.
Ugh.
There's these weird statues around the place that they are, and those statues, some of them allow you to see a glimpse of what the reality is outside of that nice house on the lake. And what we're looking at here, comic fam, are people being mutilated in the streets, buildings up in flames, and someone's face kind of being distorted, body horror.
Yeah, this is a terrifying image.
Yeah, this right here is probably the thumbnail. Shout out. So, the art is so intriguing because it's wild. It's a wild concept. It's a mystery. It's a horror narrative. And it's a quest to figure out why they're here and who the antagonist is. because I think by the end of the first arc, you'll be surprised. And I think we should leave it there.
Yeah, I think you and I have different feelings about the end of this comic. I've just now started thinking about the end because issue 8 is the most recent one, 8 out of 12. So it is approaching the end game of this series, and I honestly have no idea how they're going to wrap it up, or if certain questions will get answered. I don't know. I don't know.
This is what I have to say about that. I can, if this was any other writer,
Right.
I would even go as far to say as if this was Scott Snyder, who's one of my favorite writers. I've said that multiple times. I'll go as far to say as if this was, Eris Quinones is calling me. Eris!
Interesting.
I love you, brother, but we're on mic. Hold on one second. We're going to pause it. Hey, Eris, we're live on the mic. I'm on the podcast number 58. You want to say something to the comic fam? Hold on. This is Eris Quinones, comic fam, one of the godfathers of comic book YouTube channels. What's up?
Just hitting you up, checking in on my boy. You know how it is.
Are you in Orlando? Are you doing the review of the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster?
Tomorrow. I'll be on a plane at 7 a.m.
Oh my goodness, brother. Let's chat. Reconvene and let's chat soon.
All right, man.
I'll hit you up soon. That's Eris Quinones, ladies and gentlemen. Go follow Variant Comics. So
You probably already are.
I would say that about many writers. Jimmy T,
He's got it.
you gotta trust in Jimmy T, Ryan.
I trust him. I don't not trust him.
You read Memetic?
I just don't know what the ending is going to be. Sometimes I feel like I could call it, or maybe, some other aliens are going to come swoop in and save the day. Or, I have no idea how this comic is going to wrap up. And I think that's exciting.
I have a feeling that it's going to wrap up in some horrific but yet beautiful way. That's going to be some level of existential realism that's going to get me super adjective
Aroused.
There it is, comic fam. All right, next part of the show. Comment down below. You're reading Nice House on the Lake. Let me know.
It's still my favorite comic.
Me too.
On my whole pull list.
I'm super hyped
the
every
coolest
time.
thing I'm reading right
I
now.
want to know what the community thinks. And now we have comments. This is when you leave us comments on the videos and we talk about them. This is from The Mad Respect.
The Mad Respect. This entire volume of Catwoman has been on point, kicking off with Joelle Jones, hot off the Tom King Batman breakup, and followed by a great run by Ram V, sprinkled in with a few nutty one-shots involving cocaine-powered villains.
That's right.
That's good to know, because we talked about it when we did our breakdown of Catwoman a couple weeks ago. This is the first time I've ever read Catwoman, and it's issue 39 or so of this current run.
I loved it.
And he's talking about the previous writers from the other 38 issues. You got Joelle Jones, who's a fantastic writer-artist combo, and Ram V, of course. And I didn't know about this cocaine stuff. I thought that was a Marvel guy, the cocaine hero.
Oh, yeah.
Are there two different cocaine-powered characters?
Let us know in the chat, comment fam. I'm not as well versed as my the drug-focused heroes. But one thing I was surprised about is that there wasn't a whole lot of love for this run in our chat, in our comments, and I was kind of, I don't want to say bewildered, but it's just kind of reminded by just a little how off some people's opinions are about the industry, and how, some comics are not going to be written for the particular reader. Like, some people are not going to be into it, but they may be into it later. That's kind of, look at what Hulk did for us. I was never into the Hulk until Immortal Hulk. Now I'm into the Hulk. Now I'm like really into the Hulk. It's like one of my favorite books to read right now. Same with Venom, to be honest. I was never really that big into Venom. I always thought Carnage was really cool. Shout out Mindbomb. So, it got me thinking about you coming on board full time, Ryan, because one of the main reasons why this job opened up and why we had to expand and bring you, full time and you working at Mill Geek was because comics were down. DC Comics in particular at the shop were down royally. It was a lot. I'll say it was above 50%. This isn't my store. This is from Mill Geek Comics. I hope it's okay that I say this, but yeah, sorry, Russ. Transparency over here. And I'll tell you why the DC Comics were down. It's not down because of the 99% of reasons people complain about the market on YouTube. It was down because when DC left Previews, Diamond,
Yep.
and went to Lunar, you had to revert to the old ways of ordering comic books, which means that you're sending emails. You're doing a lot of
pen and paper.
Nonsense. We live in 2022. It's May. And people who want to order their Batman comic can't click a button to order your Batman comic. And if that's not one of the main reasons to be concerned about the industry, and you're caught up on like the last issue of a character that you may not be as into, tanking the industry, then you just got your focus wrong. You just don't know what's going on. Because we had over a 50% decline in orders for Batman because people couldn't order the damn Batman. So we got Fire Guy Ryan on the mic. Took him from the mic. Put him on the computer. And what do you do monthly?
Every month. I take all of the covers, all of the different titles and variant covers and collected trades and hardcovers, and I take them from the preview or the DC Connect catalog that they do every month. And
you got to pull up your catalog, figure out what you want, and then go to another platform like your email and type, or check boxes.
That's how you used to have to do it. But now I copy and paste every single information off of that catalog into our own website that we have and upload it. So now every month you just go to our website and you order stuff on there like you do on the previous one.
How long does it take you every month to do that?
About a week.
It takes you about a week. Hours and hours and hours of copy, paste, coding, making sure that the variants are loaded up. Oh, they changed something, got to update that. We're having to do a part of the work that was done on previews. But now we have to do it in-house because if we don't, people don't get their Batman comics.
And a lot of people still don't do it just because it's a separate website and it's just extra work.
It's tough, comic fam. It's tough. But we are here for you. Fire Guy Ryan is here for you. And if you want your Batman comics, you just go to MogateComics.com, sign up. They're going to take care of you. Look at this. We got, who is this? Seba Mill?
Seba Mill. Hi, love your show. Smiley face. Could you guys please do a show about foreign books?
Woo!
I am selling German books on US eBay, and I can tell you demand and prices are increasing super fast. And I am honestly thinking that this is just the beginning for the foreign edition market.
I like that, brother. 238. We got to talk about it. Okay, so could we talk about foreign books because foreign books are starting to become a more exciting thing to the collector's market for the first time in, ever? We've never talked about this, right, Ryan?
Never once.
Never once. Just kidding. We talked about foreign comics for 4 years, comic fam, and we've been telling you their time will come. And we proved it because we showed you comics, and then you guys like the comics, and that's really all it takes. You just got to experience the foreign edition. First thing you can do to just help yourself is learn the verbiage. These are not reprints. A lot of these came out in other countries, yes, years later. And are they technically reprints of the original comic? Yes, but they are now known as foreign editions across the world. And foreign collectors call them foreign editions because they are so special. So take a look at this book. I'm holding one right here, but I took a picture of it because, if you ask me to talk about foreign comics, I'm going to bring out some foreign comics. This one right here is one of my favorites in my PC. And I don't think I'm ever going to get this graded. And I'm going to show you why. This right here came out in Greece. It's a tough book. One of the reasons why it's so tough is the humidity down there. And it just, imagine the staples, the paper. The paper doesn't get bagged and boarded in a lot of these foreign countries.
To make little tiny bags and boards for that book.
It would be really nice if we could. We probably could now, but back then it would have been even nicer if they had some type of protection. So it's tough to get these books in high grade. But this right here, you're going to see is a first appearance of Hobgoblin, ASM, 238. And this right here is a very, very special double key. Because in other foreign countries, for their foreign editions, they just had what Marvel allowed them to print. And they would just get comic books and they would pick and choose, put them together, Marvel with Marvel books, right? This particular book is 2 comics in one. And that is why this book is so special. So outside of it being a foreign edition of the first appearance of Hobgoblin, we had randomly, by sheer happenstance, an extra book put in there. And that book was a key. So when you open this book up and you go to that last page spread, and you got to think about the layers of coincidence. In this particular country, for this particular comic, they picked a key book, probably because the cover's so dope. Awesome. That's a win for the collectors. But they took a step further and they picked a key book that has a last page reveal of the Hobgoblin. Boom.
Okay.
Right there. But what's the other book that they picked? It could have been any book. And they decided to make it
just any book.
It was. To them, it was.
Yeah.
And these weren't key books back then. You know, like this
That's fair.
this is like, you know, yeah, there was hype and stuff, but like I'm talking like now now the hype is real.
Retroactively, it makes a lot more sense because the other book they put in here after this Hobgoblin book was Iron Man 55.
The first appearance of Drax, the first appearance of Thanos, making this double page
That's cool.
just one of the coolest moments in the foreign collectible market. We have Hobgoblin on the right. We have Thanos on the, or excuse me, I'm gonna say it right. Hobgoblin on the right, Drax on the left. Hot damn comic fam. How dope is that, dude? Because the first page happens to be Drax.
If they had put the cover in there like they should have, right? This would have been
Totally blown.
Yeah.
It would have been cool, but he wouldn't get this
Yeah.
hyper unique moment. So, and for good measure, I got to show you Thanos.
And there he is.
You know, he's there. He's also there. So,
But the coloring, even like the coloring's different in this edition too.
Yeah.
I like that. It's like those black, white, and red books. We're gonna talk about one of those later too. You got
That's
black
right.
and white, and then just one color here.
I love me some foreign books, Ryan.
Shades of orange.
Oh, so good. Okay, let's keep it going.
This is from Chad Nelson.
Chad Nelson.
Just saw James Tynan the fourth,
Who?
Jimmy T.
Oh, okay.
At the KC Planet Con. That's Kansas City. Planet Con didn't come up to his booth to actually meet him. So much to do. Very busy. But the fella opened the door for my wife, myself, and my uncle, wheelchair bound, when we went to our hotel. Of all the people in the lobby, he walks up to open the door for us to our hotel. Made a great impression on me.
What a damn cool dude.
That's classy. That's a classy move, James.
Jimmy T, you're a classy guy. What a gentleman. Chad, you got to meet Jimmy T still. And I think that's pretty damn cool. In a cooler way.
Waiting in line for, you know, I still would have waited in line. No matter what, I'm not too busy to go to that line.
No matter what, we're gonna be waiting in line, and
We don't
we
have
may
to wait in line.
Yeah, we just get it out again. I'm just kidding.
It's all right. I put it away.
No, it's okay. We're certified. Let's do it. All right.
Certified insane.
I thought that's a cool story. Thanks for sharing,
cool.
Comic Fam. I like your stories like that. You know, everyone meets creators and they have their unique experiences. And I'll tell you, man, after the passing of Neil Adams, the one thing I've been thinking about all week is, like, shout out Nick from Key Collector Comics. He's like, I was at a convention and he introduced me to Neil Adams. And he's like, yo, Neil I'm sure I can have Neil like sit down and talk to you. And I'm like, I just want to meet him, but like I don't want to do anything like that because I was so nervous. It was
Right.
like, it was early. I probably would do it now. I wish I could do it now.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I'm trying to say is like, don't miss out on your opportunities to meet people that you admire
You never
when
know.
you have a chance.
I love you, Tom. You got to say you love
You gotta say, I
people
love
you
the comic fam. I love you, Ryan.
Right? You never know.
You never know. Life is too short. One of the greats, taken too soon. And been thinking about that a lot. You know, I just wish I would have stepped out of my comfort zone because I just looked up to him so much. Like, it's just one thing to meet
It's one thing.
Donny
to
Cates
Donny
or
Cates
Scott Snyder. No,
Donny
come on.
Cates is, you know,
I love
he
I love
spit
Donny
on you and me
No,
when we went
my
to go see him. He said, "Screw you guys," and he spat on us, but we still talked to him anyway.
Untrue. He was incredibly kind, and he was a gentleman as well. And he walked out in front of the booth, and he gave us so much of his time. And he's such a cool dude. But
Pretty cool.
it's like it's Neil Adams, man. I got the nerves, man. This is Neil Adams, you know.
Big deal.
Gosh, and now I regret that, you know. All right, Ray from Carolina. Love these reviews. I'll be waiting for all 3 issues to read, but it's tiny, so it's an automatic buy for me. He must be talking about
The Closet.
Holy smokes! I'm so hyped about this book.
From it's not even a Substack book anymore. It's coming to Image.
That's right. He
so
says
everybody's going to get the chance to read this one soon.
Might there be a sequel, or is this a one and done? Thanks, guys.
Issue 3 finally just came out of The Closet like last week, and
On Substack. Again, these are being released
Right.
digitally first for the Substack subscribers. We are members. Highest tier. Gotta keep. I just gotta look at the gold.
you got that just laying out.
I got it.
No.
I gotta say. I gotta get him taken care of. All right.
But no, the closet, not the castle.
The castle.
The closet was really cool. It could have a sequel. Just to answer your question, it could if he wanted to. I hope.
He's a professional, man.
I hope
Something
there
is
isn't
killing.
one.
We'll get to this, but something is killing the children wasn't intended. I've heard to
Yeah.
be a long 20
Sure.
plus issue arc, but that didn't stop him. The collector said, "Nope, we need more," and he delivered. So who knows? Go pick up The Closet, and if you want there to be a continuation of the arc, you know, support it. All right. So thank you so much for leaving comments, Comic Fam. We appreciate it. It's going to win a giveaway. We actually, now we're on the subject, we're probably going to get into something that's killing the children here pretty soon, but not before we tell you about our new partner of the show.
Gotcha.
This is awesome, man. This is a company that I've been really excited about for a long time just because it's eye candy on Instagram. Legit. We have Hero Restoration. They hit us up. We partnered up. We struck a deal. They are officially our second sponsor. We're an affiliate of Key Collector. Whatnot is a sponsor of the show. Hero Restoration is a sponsor of the show. And they do straight up alchemy. They got people that they have trained. They sent them to Hogwarts. I'm actually starting to believe that they know something we don't. Because look at this X-Men #1. And Ryan, what are you seeing
It
here?
hurts. This is rough. I don't like looking at this cover.
This right here.
The spine is all crinkly. The inks are all mashed up and faded out there on the right-hand side. All that red is bad. It looks like there's a smudge up on the title.
Yeah, there's some things here that you just can't fix. But
Sure.
But look at all this, though. All this rippling.
You can see it under the glare.
This damage. You can really see that those problem spots. And something that I'll want to point out here is that as someone who dry cleans, you can follow me on Instagram and watch me do it sometimes. Sometimes I'll just be chilling at night. It's like what I do on my downtime. I'm working on comics. Like I'm always doing the comic stuff.
It's true.
This right here is a book that I would never touch.
Never. Yeah.
There are books that you should not, like, unless you are like really trying to get good. You're trying to become a professional cleaner. And I'm talking, the only way you can do that is like as if you were trying to become a professional artist. You got to do it every day. You got to do it hours on end. You got to have your practice times. You have to have your mistakes happen. You got to go through all of that kind of stuff over and over again. And then you start getting comfortable enough to upgrade what you work on. This is a book, after 7 years of me doing this, I would still never touch.
I don't want to touch this book under any circumstances, repairing or even reading. Like, I would want to wear like a Darth Vader suit or like a Heisenberg suit just to make sure I don't like touch it wrong or breathe on it wrong.
Right. Well, and to be clear, comic fam, Hero Restoration doesn't just do restoration. Restoration is something that a lot of people do get done because, hey, better the book if it makes sense. However, pressing and cleaning is something that I recommend everyone do for their graded comics. And this is something that you can do yourself if you practice. But when you get to a point where you just don't want to fix it yourself, you know that you can damage it. You don't want to risk it. Or maybe that problem, that imperfection is just a little bit out of your expertise. Better send it to Hero Restoration and they'll take care of you. Because look at this X-Men 1. Boom.
Ooh.
Outstanding. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Let's give them another look here. Let's go back before and after. Before and after.
And it's the spine stuff. Like, they can't fix the faded red over on the side or the smudge on the title. That's
Not
there.
without full restoration.
Correct.
You know, that would be like you're adding color, maybe you're adding pieces of paper to fix holes. Like, those are services that exist. I'm not as familiar with those. I'm thinking about dabbling a little bit, but who knows? I mean, you only do that to certain books. I don't really deal with those kind of books. Those are more kind of guru books.
Kind of gives it a little character, though. I kind of like the old comics that are well loved, but there's a difference, I think, between the faded inks and the spine looking like it does in the before picture there.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
it looks too beat up, but at least it looks clean. And I'm not making any sense.
No, it looks good. It looks clean. I mean, because there is a level of cleaning here, but look at this is the commentary from Hero Restoration. This X-Men 1 couldn't handle any aggressive pressing, so I did what I could without further damaging the paper. Nuff said, Excelsior, Hero Restoration. And I think that's well put because that sentiment is something that I recommend to so many people who start pressing and grading. I would get asked for a lot, like over the last 4 years, all the time, who should I send this to get done? Pressing, grading, all that stuff. And I don't really have an answer for a lot of people until now. Hero Restoration's my official stance. That's where I recommend, all right? But if you're doing it at home, I always give the caveat, like, you know, the words of wisdom, like practice on cheap books when you do it. But the trick is, don't do too much. You can always do more. But if you cross the line, you pop the staple, you rip the paper, you remove the ink. I've done all these things. You've gone too far. And that book, however old that book was, however long it's lived, it was in that condition until it reached your hands and then you ruined it. It's not a good feeling. And I'll tell you, it's one of the worst feelings that you have when you ruin a book, especially when it's a nice book. So I want to show off this amazing work done by Hero Restoration, but also let you guys know that they are doing something incredible, 25% off. Look at this, 55-day turnaround time, $1,000 max value, $60. Get a $1,000 book. They're going to give it the press treatment, the dry cleaning, and a 55-day turnaround. $60. Nope. 25% off. It's $45 right now. We did this partnership and they're like, hey, give them back to the community. Let's do it. Let's do a deal. Let's make it happen. But that's not all. $3,000 max value. It's typically $100 to clean and press that kind of book. 25% off. It's 75 days, 30 business days. Hot damn. That's a month. And they can hook you up so that those books can be sent off to CBCS and CGC so you don't have to do this back and forth. They'll send it to Sarasota. They'll get it taken care of. Make your comics look the best they possibly can, and we appreciate them for being a sponsor of the show. So now, Ryan, I get a text from you that was kind of weird. I'm just going to be straight up with you. You sent me a video.
Oh, no, this was on my Instagram story.
It was on your Instagram, but you sent me a text of it before I saw the Instagram story.
I sent it to you.
So this was hilarious, man. So
we planned to do this show last week.
It's a super nice day.
All right, so yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
We planned to do this show last week, and we didn't because you went out of town, and we just postponed until you got back. But last week,
I got sick right before the show.
Yes, that too. And I decided to binge read the entire run of Something Is Killing the Children
because we're going to talk about that show.
We're about to talk about that comic here pretty soon.
Call us the Jimmy T channel, apparently.
Apparently. But I decided it was a very nice day. I am pale as hell. I need to get some sun in whatever way I can. So I just decided to read outside on that Saturday, and I went to the park.
So this is Ryan at the park. This is the message I get from Ryan, and he posts this to Instagram. Where can they find you, Fire Guy?
At Fire Guy Ryan on Instagram.
All right, so
YouTube.
check this out. Check this out, comic fam. This is Ryan. This is real life.
So it's a super nice day outside, and my Saturday is free. So I decided to take a comic book to the park. Lots of kids, playground stuff, but I think I picked the wrong comic.
Ryan going to a park.
Okay, so hold on.
Something is killing the children. What were you thinking?
It's an awesome park. There's a lake. There's a trail. I went for a little walk on the trail, but the benches by the lake were all taken. I was going to sit by the lake.
So it's not your fault.
Look out at the water. And so I was just like, oh, I guess I can't read this here. I'm going to go back to my car.
Question.
Yep.
If you were to have gotten a spot by the lake, would you have read Nice House on the Lake? Is this does your reading have to do with the environment?
No, I just brought that one book with me because I knew I needed to refresh. And so I made the decision, like, I'm just going to go home. I blew it. I'm just going to go home. And then on the way back to the parking lot, I passed the playground, and then there was a bench open right there next to the playground, and I decided I'm just going to read a little bit here. It got too weird. I went home.
So
I went to the diner and finished my book.
Did anyone notice at the park?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay, but you went to the diner and finished it?
Yes.
It's weird. I like reading at restaurants.
It's fun.
I always like being able to.
Pre-COVID, I used to do that all the time.
At the bank, I used to go to like sushi and just go in the back and eat and read Walking Dead and Invincible and stuff.
As I was reading it at the diner, the waitress asked me as I'm checking out, like, oh, what book is that? What's that book about? And as you saw on the cover, it says Something Is Killing the Children. It's got Erica Slaughter all covered in blood with big knives. I'm just like, oh. It's about monsters.
It's about monsters.
I didn't want to get into like a whole thing. Oh, it's about a secret organization of monster hunters and all this stuff. It's like, oh, it's monster stuff.
It's just monsters. Comic fan, we're talking about Jimmy T, James Tynion IV, one of the best writers. I'm probably gonna say ever pretty soon. I think he's becoming my all-time favorite writer. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
At least right now, he is mine.
At least right now, he's my favorite. Who else is on this run?
Werther Dell'Edera does the pencils.
Of course he does. Does them stellar as well. And this right here is a world where monsters are not the only thing killing the children. Hot damn. That's right. So we're going to get you caught up on Something That's Killing the Children. We're going through 22 issues, breaking them down one by one. This is going to take about 3 hours. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I think what we should do is remind people of where we've been, where we are now, and why this is a fantastic time to get caught up. A great time to start the new arc and to give some cred where credit's due because I really like where the story's going. It's everything that I was hoping.
That's good. It also feels like it's been forever since we got like a present day entry in this storyline. We had 15 issues, kind of the first season of this comic. And then they did like a 5-issue flashback storyline. And then we had House of Slaughter for a while there. And then this book was just on hiatus for a bit.
So, if you didn't know, which we have a community here filled with comic collectors and readers. I mean, this is a book that's like, you gotta, I don't need to tell you that I'm spoiling Watchmen for you. This is equivalent to like modern age, just everyone needs to read this.
I'm guilty of already assuming most people are already on this book. Since as a modern person,
Shame.
myself, I feel
Shame.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to read this one.
Get this. You don't just need to get this. You need to consider having like more than one copy ordered on your pull list if you can afford it.
It's about to hit Netflix, or about to get made for Netflix. Hopefully,
Yeah.
assuming everything.
Yeah, confirmed by Boom Studios that it was picked up, teased by James Tynion, and just like all of his other titles that are probably going to get picked up. Nice house, where you at? But we're talking about something that's killing the children. Erica Slaughter, she is a monster hunter, and we're going to give some spoilers away for the first arc because it completed like a long time ago.
This book's been out for like 3 years.
It's been going for 3 years, but we're going to give you a kind of a brief overview to set us up for the new arc that's begun with issue 21 and recently issue 22 because they are outstanding. It's just so exciting every time. Every one of these books gets me so hyped about comics. So the first arc, we had kind of hinted at earlier that James Tynion wasn't intending it to be as big of a book as it became.
This was originally supposed to be a 5-issue series, but as he was writing it, it kind of grew into a bigger thing, and it also turned into like one of the biggest hits. So between himself and the publisher, they're just like, we can do more. This is a bigger story. Let's expand.
So the first arc, we have just Erica Slaughter taking out monsters that are invisible, that only some people can see, but for sure, some children can see them. And that first arc concludes with her going through the process of hunting down these monsters, trying to save individuals that she can, and then beginning the world building that at the time we have to assume wasn't planned to happen, but clearly we got to continue this book. So we're going to expand this universe. The second arc is the focus of the other monsters because there were more.
It had babies. It was a mama monster that she killed in the first story arc, and then it turns out there's a bunch of very fast-growing baby monsters that are still an issue.
That's right. So that's the second arc, but we also get introduced to a larger world. There's more individuals that are hunting monsters, aren't there?
Yeah, you find out more about the organization. She's part of the House of Slaughter, and the other people in the town that she's kind of protecting, and we're just building out this whole storyline in this world here. And this whole first 15-issue story arc is basically like the first season.
That's right.
Of this story.
The first season. We have a third arc that takes us from the focus of the monsters killing individuals and more about the organization and how they handle these situations, but also why the monsters exist at all. So, heavy spoiler, but this is like old news at this point, and it's a key plot device that got me really invested in the story back then.
Yeah, and it's also just fun to go back and reread this, like I did at the park. That whole day, I binged all 21 issues at the time. Issue 22 just came out like a week ago.
Get the hardcover; it's glorious.
Yeah. It's a great way to just kill an afternoon, and it's a really really tight story. And I can honestly just see that being the first season of the Netflix show. Whenever that
absolutely
actually happens. Yeah,
absolutely. So the monsters are manifested if individuals believe in them. It's kind of a Department of Truth, like low key, similar narrative taking place here.
Stealing his own ideas now.
Yeah, only Jimmy T can do that. So why would children be the ones to most often see the monsters? Because they're the ones who tend to believe in monsters. And the various houses that are in charge of monster control, their job isn't just to kill the monsters, it's to keep the secrecy and the belief shut, to bring it to a close. And the only way you can ensure that happening is that those who believe cannot live. So, yes, we have monsters that are killing children, but it's not just the monsters. We have the monster hunters that have to protect the world at large, because if everyone starts believing in monsters, the apocalypse is imminent.
Sure, that makes sense. In the world of the story, that makes sense. And that's kind of what we're getting here with the second story arc here, starting in issue 21 and now 22. We're getting glimpses of a separate organization that doesn't really seem to care so much about like what sort of collateral damage they inflict.
It's part of the organizations that they can't. It's like the rules. Hey, you can't have one person believe, because that will start a train of events, a domino effect.
Kill all the monsters, kill all the witnesses.
Yeah.
Kill all the children. Kill everyone.
That's what they have to
It's a
do.
good strategy. I've used that strategy before too.
Yeah, just wipe them all out.
You can't be too careful.
And
And the
video
bloodline.
games.
Yeah.
There we go. So we have the fourth arc that takes place, which is a prequel of sorts. It's how Erica Slaughter gets brought into the House of Slaughter. It's how she becomes her own. Why she was spared, because she would have been one of the dead kids.
Her origin story.
Yeah. So we get that all the way through till issue 20, which is why 21 is such a exciting thing for readers right now, because this really picks up where the third arc finished, where we had a prequel right in between. So Erica has now finished the first monster dealings, and
she solved the monster problem. She just moved on from that whole town.
she moved on from the House of Slaughter as well.
That too.
She quit. She's like, no, leave me alone. Come after me if you want. And now we're going to be seeing not just new monsters, new characters, but a new threat that comes in the form of another house and another warrior, another ruthless, violent slayer.
It's interesting to think about where this story goes from here, because I got the sense after these 2 issues, it's moving a lot slower than the first 2 issues of this. You can compare them, issues 21 and 22 compared to issues 1 and 2, like the first 2 chapters of this story arc here. And this stuff feels a lot slower and more considered. Like he's definitely planning a lot heavier into like building the wider world.
Why don't you meet Gabby?
What's that?
This is introduction to Gabby right here.
This is the first panel of issue 21.
That's right. We have a new character introduced. She has really dope hair, kind of colorful. One strand on the side. She's covered in blood in the back of a police car, saying she wants a lawyer. She just witnessed something atrocious.
Yeah, and I get the vibe. We were talking about this before, that this person feels like your gut instinct is that this is going to be a new member of the House of Slaughter. Like you think that this person is going to be inducted and trained as a monster hunter moving forward.
Absolutely.
I could see it.
This right here is a situation where she discovered the monster attack. Her family was completely slaughtered. Her grandma was her kappa was detated to a degree. I can't remember if it was actually detated, but like, intestines ripped out. Like she just walked into something so horrific that she needs some damn counseling ASAP as possible.
I also really just love the way Werther Dell'Edera does the layouts here. There's the series has a lot of 2-page spreads.
It makes me wonder how much of the layout Jimmy T is involved with, because so many of his comics have so much. You got to assume that there's got to be some type of writer suggestion here.
Go nuts, he says. Probably.
Go nuts,
Something like that.
or lots of slanted panels going back and forth.
Right?
Or like,
why are they not straight lines?
Everything, right?
Yeah.
It definitely
makes it feel off.
It makes it feel off, but it's so much
effect.
fun. It's so much fun. So she's chatting with this police officer, because the police officer knows that she did not do the crime, because they have a recording of her like showing up at the house, and they're already dead when she arrived. But he's trying to get her to talk, but she has just experienced something so terrible that she is damaged. She doesn't have time for this stuff. She's like, give me a lawyer, get me help. This ain't good. So we get a little glimpse about what she saw.
Oh, gross. Yeah.
So take a look at this. She walked in and she sees the horrificness. Is that a word?
Sure, it is
There
now.
it goes. It is now. She also says something pretty interesting that you kind of hinted at. She gets a lot of her family's blood on her. She's holding her, people, and she's also, touching a lot of stuff. So very, very grotesque. And she says, like, she needs a shower. She smells, because she's covered in this stuff, And earlier in Something Is Killing Children, I don't think I would have remembered this, but had I not reread it because of the hardcover, that is something that Erica Slaughter says. She says that she's got to take a shower. She stinks after she kills all the monsters. I think that's a subtle thing that may be setting her up for a future to possibly join, probably not the house, because Erica's not part of the house anymore. Who knows where that's going? But to possibly join up with Erica. Could we have now, we already have one of the best female lead protagonists in comic books in the modern times.
That's true.
Is this the introduction to number 2?
I'm also just learning that I'm starting to appreciate artistic choices more. I'll go back to that one real quick.
Yeah, sure.
The panel borders there are so rough and jagged.
Yeah, it makes you feel
The tension
tense.
and the suspense and the fear. They're not straight, even, clean lines on the panel borders, and I love that deliberate choice.
It's like a Sharpie just kind of doing it quick.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I really do too. And you really feel for these characters because it's so hardcore, and we're dealing with, kids, families. And what is this? Someone holding a dead body and it looks human. What?
Well, I mean, she doesn't know there's monsters yet, so she probably just thinks that's the guy who killed everybody in my house.
Well, you're going to find out soon that it just took her a couple more glimpses to piece something together here that she can't even communicate because it doesn't make sense. We have also one of the coolest freakout moments because it's like, dude, leave this kid alone. Yeah. She's experienced something horrendous. You just got to let her heal for a second. But this right here is the first oh snap moment because when she leaves the house and she sees the person responsible, it's a humanoid monster. You thought that the monsters were just limited to just looking like little creatures? No, they look different. This monster
what the hell is happening?
Has a shoulder that separates from itself with teeth and a giant eyeball.
That's terrifying. Yeah.
Damn it, Jimmy T, you're good.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but he eats with his
shift?
shoulder.
I don't know what's happening here. But I love that. I love that it's not the exact same monsters that we, I assumed that's kind of how it was for 15 issues. Like, oh, this is the kind of monster that they fight. But
they look like these creepy creatures.
There's a whole different class. And there would be. That makes sense. I just never thought about it like that.
And they mentioned classes before, but in my head, I'm thinking more of the same. This one looks bigger. This one's a little bit more purple, has more fangs, But no, this is a completely different thing.
And a lot scarier, especially if it can kind of pass as human. It's wearing pants.
That's right.
So I don't know what's going on with that, but...
We get introduced, well, rather, Erica gets introduced to our new character, Gabby, because Erica goes where the monsters go.
Yeah, that whole issue, Erica Slaughter, the main character, the protagonist of the series, hasn't even showed up until the very end. She's wearing a Riddler jacket, too. I like that.
Straight up.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That could be actually a really good cosplay. So now we're getting to issue number 22, so spoiler warnings, but this is the time to get back on board, and it's these two issues that are going to give you the biggest excitement in as far as foreshadowing goes and what we're being set up with. Because what can you do? You already kind of went through a lot in the first 4 arcs, right? So we have this introduction that is so hardcore. I don't think it's gotten as gruesome as this with the kids being killed.
I don't know. You witness a lot of messed up stuff in this series, like a little girl getting ripped in half in front of her parents' eyes by an unseen monster. That was a standout moment in the early issues.
Well, look at this. We have...
This is pretty gross, too.
Clearly, monsters have invaded this home, which is why you see the pieces of one of the monsters that we actually saw from the earlier issues, right?
On the right over there, yeah.
But we do have a lot of children. Casualties, because
it's the title of
the House of Slaughter cannot let anyone live. They're protecting the rest of the world, but you gotta consider, what kind of person do you need to be to do this job? You have to be one that doesn't look at anything with empathy. You have to be someone who is detached.
You show up to this house where monsters are invading and there's a screaming, terrified family inside. You kill all the monsters and the family's like, oh, thank God.
We're so glad you're here. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. There's this really badass looking person. They saved the day. Thank you so much.
And then you got the Anakin Skywalker moment.
And then she takes out, or they, or whoever does this, takes out damn sewing needles to just do worse damage to the kids.
Hopefully the monsters kill the family first. That's my concern.
It doesn't look like it. We get introduced to someone from another house, someone who's elite, someone who has a process of how she gets this done.
Yeah.
Someone who's definitely experienced this type of torment for the job that she is doing. And she also has kind of I assume is a lackey, a partner here that looks really cool. Instead of the bandana, he has this almost like Rorschach looking mask.
Bandana over the top half of your face.
Yeah, Red Dagger type of thing going on here.
It's like Ghostmaker, another character of James Tynan's.
Little bit, doesn't it? And that's it. That's all we're gonna do here for you.
And there's me again.
I don't want to get too far into Something Is Killing the Children 22 because it just came out. I want to leave some, as AKA Mr. Bull would say, shout out, meat on the bone. Woo! Damn good comics this week, Ryan.
It's a good week.
It got me hyped, dude.
We still got another comic to talk about, but that's later.
Hit the like, slap the subscribe button, comic fam. It's podcast 58, and we ain't stopping yet. We have the can't miss box to discuss with you.
Okay.
The Comic Sensei. This is where you work part-time, Ryan.
This is the other half of my job at the Mill Geek Comics, working with Russ.
If you go to Mill Geek Comics in Mill Creek, Washington, this is what you're going to see. I mean, look at that. Look at that storefront right on the right. I mean, we got a drone shot here. But if you wait a second, look right over here. I'm circling it with the mouse. This right here is Mill Geek Comics right there. You're going to see it. And look at the bottom right. Look at that window. You'll see it in a second.
And
Boom. Do you see it?
Barely.
Do you see it? There I am.
There you are.
That's the logo right there. The Comic Tom logo is right there on the window. You can come visit Mill Geek Comics. It's an LCS. Mill Geek Comics.
On Wednesday or Thursday, I'll say hi to you because I will be there.
Come and visit us. But Russ had this really cool idea because people be missing comics. So we thought he thought this up and I agreed. Let's just make it easy for the comic fam. They can join the Can't Miss Comics box. We pick the books. We make sure that those books get in your box and you get them sent from Mill Geek to you every month. This right here is curated. I pick a book, Ryan picks books, Russ picks books, but really it's just about like what we think are going to be our favorite ones, things that you really gotta read. You know, Donny Cates puts out a new book, you're gonna get that issue 1. You know, House of Slaughter comes out, Something's Killing the Children, you're gonna get that book. Some of these are just like no-brainers. You gotta get it. We want to make sure you get it. And there's an aspect of this that I really appreciate, which is some books get moved. It happens every damn month.
All the time.
So what happens when it gets moved and you plan on getting it? Now you have to remember when the book comes out. Sometimes it's random. It's in 4 months, 6 months. It's just whatever happens. Comic books are tough to make, right? So this right here is a promise that Mill Geek's got to get you taken care of. This is not my store. This is not my box. This is not my product. This is my LCS and one that I support. And if you want to get comic books from Mill Geek, you can do it too by hitting the subscribe button on millgeekcomics.com.
We kind of did steal the idea from you. Right? You had the mystery mail call that we do. We already send out a box of comics to people, but this box is not random.
That's true.
There's no mystery in this box. We tell you exactly what's going out in there every month.
And if one of these books that are being solicited ends up getting moved, no worries. There are plan Bs put in place. So there's something else goes in there. And the idea is to outdo expectations. So Russ has a lot of fun things planned for that. And that book, if it gets moved, it's going to just get moved to another month. So if you have a Last Ronin situation where everyone's waiting on these issues and they get pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and then all of a sudden it comes out and you're like, damn it, I missed it. Well, you don't have to miss it anymore because the Can't Miss box has got your back. So let's talk about 8 billion genies because we're talking about the May Can't Miss box. You can sign up for that right now. And this is going to be in the box if everything goes according to plan.
Well, it better be because it says it's coming out next week.
Yeah,
So
it seems like it's going to be good to go.
a very close book for them to push back. But this is a 8-issue series coming out from Image. The new number 1 starts next week. But the premise just seemed way too cool to not indulge in. It's written by Charles Soule with art by Ryan Brown. And the premise of this is basically every single person on Earth gets their own genie and gets one wish. And then we have 8 issues to kind of figure out what the hell that looks like, what happens, what the world looks like.
Yeah, most of the time it's one person finds it. They get 3 wishes, and it's
Right.
it's a tale about their decisions. No, what if everyone gets to wish? Ryan, if you, and let's root it in reality a little bit, like if this was something that, like an ability or something, you know, instead of like, oh, I get to live on an island, my own island. Like, no. Like let's do a wish of just like Fire Guy Ryan.
Is that what you would do? You
You get
island?
no. Well, I haven't really thought about it yet, but
Would your island have polar bears?
probably maybe a smoke monster.
You know, you can do both.
I want sharks with Dharma tags on them. No, what would be your one wish of a genie if I could put one parameter around it? It's like an ability that you're gonna get.
Money.
How though? Like money's okay. Is it like a
Cash money.
Is it like a Tobey Maguire type of thing where the web just manifests out of his wrist? Just money just fall out of your wrist?
Now that you said that, I can't not do that. So yeah, that.
What if
Shoot cash out of my hands?
What if it wasn't cash? What if it was coins? What if you wished
Oh my
to be
God.
able to shoot coins out and you're like, I'm gonna be rich, and it's just pennies?
You're going in a real specific, strange direction with this. Like,
This is Ryan's new superpower.
that's a really lame superpower. It's like gold balls.
It's like,
It's like,
hey, don't hate on gold balls.
yeah, it turns out that's a really
Those
cool
are
power.
eggs.
Yeah, you didn't know at the time. Maybe they're super pennies.
That's why they smell kind of weird.
They would smell weird no matter what.
Okay, so 8 Billion Genies comes out. Charles Soule, you know him from Star Wars and so many other things. Letter 44, anyone? We got to read that book, dude. All right, let's do it again. Captain America, Symbol of Truth #1. If you liked Falcon and Winter Soldier, which really is top tier superhero entertainment, some of the best television programming that superheroes have ever gotten. It's like watching a movie.
A lot of MCU hints and glimpses of the future in that show. I kind of forget it exists when I think about Disney Plus MCU shows.
It almost separates itself like it's its own movie.
Right. But no, we're getting 2 separate Captain America ongoing series about to start at the same time. We're putting the Sam Wilson Captain America new #1 that's coming out next week as well. That is also going to be included in the May Can't Miss Comics box.
You know, Cap 4 is coming soon, and who knows? I mean, geez, we were just talking about Peggy Carter last weekend. Oh, I cannot wait for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. We're going to get a just jaw-dropping Captain America 4. I just know it. It's going to be amazing. And we got to keep you up to date with Captain America Symbol of Truth #1. Oh, Batman Fortress. One of my biggest complaints about narratives at DC are when Superman's involved, and it's just too easy. It's like, why doesn't Superman just do this? But what if Superman's not around and Batman's got to be the leader of the JLA like he really always is, but do it without Superman's help?
That's kind of the premise here. Yeah, like what do you do when aliens show up and try to invade the planet and Superman is, where the hell is Superman? Why is he not here to help?
He's chilling out, doing some Dr. Manhattan stuff on the moon.
Probably.
I don't know. Yeah, he's doing something.
So it's another 8-issue series from DC. This one has art by Derek Robertson, who does The Boys.
Ooh, Derek Robertson.
That'll be a little interesting to see him do Batman stuff.
That got me in. I want to get certain books because of the synopsis, but sometimes it's just the creative team. That's all I need to hear.
There's another one on here that got you in just by the creative team too.
Oh, are you talking about this one?
This one, yeah. Shaolin Cowboy, Cruel to be Kin, #1.
Yeah, this is all I need to hear, comic fan.
Not me. This was Tom's pick.
This is all I needed to see. First off, I look at that cover. I can tell from a mile away. Mignola cover.
Yeah.
Easy. Done. I need 2 copies. But then, Jeff Darrow on writing. I'll give you guys a secret, comic fam. If Jeff Darrow is...
And art.
Oh, and art. Of course, I know.
Yep.
If this is a Jeff Darrow comic, you get the comic. It's that easy. I know people are like, I don't know what to get. There's so many comics. I'm telling you right now, if it's a Mignola cover, the king of negative space, you get the comic. If you can afford it, you get 2. If you're like me, you're going to get like 5+ because I kind of got a problem. But Jeff Darrow is on that same list. Oh my gosh, stellar. I don't even need to tell you the synopsis. Just pick up that book. All right, here we go. Grimm #1, Jenny Frison, hot damn. She's like ascended, dude.
We're throwing in the variant cover for
Have
this
you
comic.
have you seen what Jenny Frison's been doing right now?
She's got a variant for 8 Billion Genies that we also.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
getting that one personally.
Dude, it's like every damn day she pumps out something and I'm like, Jenny freaking Frison.
Just do a bad one. Just do a bad one.
It'll be good. She does the bad one. People be like, wow, this is the worst looking one. I love it.
I want to see what she can draw. Like
It's like the
very
Peach
poorly.
Momoko Venom cover, the 1 in 100 on Venom 1 that looks like a
Right.
sock puppet. Dude, some people are like, that's the worst Venom cover I've ever seen. But then other people, yours truly, are like, I love it. Wow, the flowers. I'm sitting there going, look at the flowers. Yeah, it looks like a really cool puppet.
'Cause that's what
like,
you think
I don't
of.
know why, but I love it.
I think of Venom. I think flowers.
Okay, but this is cool because I've needed a Grim Reaper story. Like what the hell, man?
It just sounds like a cool little Boom Studios comic.
Dude, it's someone who wakes up and has a new job as a Grim Reaper.
But she doesn't remember how she died, and she tries to like solve the mystery of her own death.
And she's got to find where the original Grim Reaper is.
But who cares? Look at that cover.
Yeah, Jenny
Honestly.
Frison, yo. Pick up the covers. You are not going to be disappointed. And check out Jenny Frison on Instagram. God, the Catwoman's, dude.
She's got a cool dog too,
She does. And the Catwoman's.
and the Catwoman
Oh
covers
my
too.
goodness.
Those are fine.
Okay, Bill S. is back on Moon Knight. Look at this cover.
That's enough to make you stand up.
Look at this damn cover. Comic fam, this is coming out. You can get this book. All right?
Next
from
week?
from MilGeek or from wherever you can. Next week, this is going to be on the shelf. Moon Knight, hit him with this.
Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood. This is a 4-issue miniseries. This is issue #1. They've been doing these a lot lately where you do like a black and white series of comics with one splash of color. And Moon Knight makes a lot of sense, especially now with the Moon Knight show coming out. But there are 3 mini stories in here done by separate creative teams who don't normally do They're not. It's not like they got the guy who's already writing Moon Knight to do another short story book. This is Jonathan Hickman's writing a story in here. Mark Guggenheim, I think wasn't he on Arrow or something? I think he was involved with the Arrowverse, if I'm not mistaken. But you get people who aren't normally involved with that universe coming in to tell a short story with a very strange art palette involved in the mix too. So I've actually been a fan of these black, white, and sometimes they're yellow, like with Wonder Woman, or red and blue with Superman. There was a cool Carnage one.
Mm-hmm.
They're just fun. And get past the color gimmick, because the real draw of these stories is the anthology aspect, the creative teams that are at work in here. And I'm just ready for a 4-issue Moon Knight anthology.
I'm ready for Moon Knight everything, man. I'm all in on Moon Knight. Going through both of the Lemire runs again. I got the Warren Ellis run on deck, and I'm dabbling with the oldies, the old stuff, and I'm all up on the new run of Moon Knight, which was really, really fun to read. And seeing this cover,
Bill S.
doing Moon Knight, this is how it should be, comic fam. This is how it should be. Okay. Did you know that we have a anniversary coming? Thor, the Hulk.
It's the 60-year anniversary.
60 years.
Of both of them.
That's right. And no better person than to write an epic arc in celebration of this milestone moment, the legacy, the history, the lore, everything, than to get someone who has a legendary run of Thor already done, well, actively being done, and is currently working on another legendary run of the Hulk. His name is Sir Cates, and he's writing it. 5 issues.
It's a Hulk versus Thor little crossover series done by Donny Cates.
Easy.
That's pretty easy. It kind of made sense to include in this box as well.
Something Donny Cates does really well is he puts together like a short run of books, and it's great as is. You can read 1 through 5. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to want to get the graphic novel. You're going to want to reread it sometimes. It's like God Country to me, man.
Silver Surfer Black.
Oh, Silver Surfer Black. Come on, man. Oh, those pencils, dude. We saw them.
We saw them.
We saw them, Ryan.
After he spit on us, he showed us the pencils.
Did not spit on us, Ryan. Donnie's a gentleman.
Just me the dog.
But no, Johnny was so cool that he told us, Silver Surfer's happening. I can't tell you anything, but I can show you.
Some black and white pencils of Tradmore artwork, which is like...
Dude, Tradmore.
I didn't even know what the hell I was looking at. It's like, oh, this is cool, I think. I can't tell you.
It's cool, I think. And then we saw the comic, and we're like, oh, okay, here we go. This is cool. All right, so, okay, so... And I want to do a quick little plug for you, Ryan, because you've been doing stuff on Whatnot, which I really appreciate. I think it's really cool that you're helping out Mill Geek, and you're putting yourself out there for the comic fam. You guys are going to be selling the can't miss boxes that don't sell throughout the month as an option on Whatnot. So if you missed out on the April box and there's some books that you want from April, there are a couple that I wanted to point out that should get you excited. You can join Ryan on Whatnot. Is there a day?
I believe it'll be on Thursday. This
Thursday, you will have these boxes for April that you'll be able to offer the community. Yes? He's given a thumbs up, comic fam. If you're listening to us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, and iTunes, we have a new Star Wars Obi-Wan book coming up, issue number 1. You got to get ready.
You excited for the show, Tom?
I am. Surprisingly, yes.
Tom loves Star Wars. I can't get him to shut up about it.
Here's the thing. I don't love Star Wars, but I can't help but be super hyped about all of what's happening on Disney+. Mandalorian Season 1, Season 2, to me, is how I wish all of Star Wars was like.
Right. Okay.
It's so good. And knowing that we have the OG cast coming to reprise their role in this Obi-Wan series. We're going to see Darth Vader go full Sith Lord. Some of the stuff that you wish you saw in the movies, but you get a taste of, or some of the times that we have seen them and you literally just get like a quick little shot of them. We're going to get that in Disney+. So naturally we have Obi-Wan getting his issue number 1. And if you want to get this book, well, just so you know, it's out very, very soon, but the April box is going to have this book in it. Also, Twig comes out. Scotty Young.
I already regret not. I didn't order this for my own pull list.
You didn't order it?
I already regret it, even though the book's not out yet.
Did you read the preview?
No.
It's weird. It's got so it's like the feelings I got when reading.
It's compared to Bone right here in the synopsis.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Like the vibes were Bone. Like it's an adventure story. It's very lively, but
Middle West?
Middle West, yes. Like how like there's so much fantastical creatures and contraptions and weird stuff going on in the background because they're just having a creative spree.
Right.
Yeah, the like 7 pages I read of Twig, because there was a preview that you could read online. It's like creatures and the trees are talking, and it's just it's very strange. The mountain is alive, Scotty Young, man, he kills it. He kills it as a creator. Comic fam, what do you think about Scotty Young? What do you think about the books that we're putting in the box, courtesy of Mill Geek Comics? Go check it out over on millgeekcomics.com, and let's get back to talking about some funny books. And no worries, comic fan, we're not going to leave you hanging. We have 10 dollar bin books that you got to know that we're going to talk about here in a second, but not before we talk about Swamp Thing. Get your Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
Green Hell.
Ooh, okay.
Are you into Misfits?
No.
Are you into Metallica?
No.
All right, well,
That's a lie.
this is for those who know what I'm talking
A little
about.
bit into Metallica.
Green Hell, Swamp Thing, Black Label, Jeff Lemire. Read it. Finn. I'm just kidding. No, we're going to talk about it. This is a book that came out over a month ago. This is something that you got to pick up.
Several months ago.
Several. It's like 2-3 months ago.
Waiting for issue 2 on here.
I cannot wait for issue
These
2.
oversized Black Label books are they come out whenever they feel like it, it seems like.
And I don't care.
That's fine.
Take as long as you
Take
freaking
time.
want. If they keep coming out with quality like this, I will wait many moons. Does
How
that
many?
work? At least 7.
At least 7? That's your blanket rule?
I don't know. It depends on which planet I'm on
Okay,
and how many moons there are. I mean,
sometimes there's 2 moons per planet, so that's really
right.
like 3
It's
months.
super confusing. All right, so we have Swamp Thing, Green Hell. Black Label is essentially Vertigo, which is like back in the day, the mature line of comics where creators can just do what they wanted with the heroes without it affecting mainstream comic continuity. So if you are in a position where you're like, I want to pick something up, but I don't want to start on issue number 85 or 95 or 105 or whatever 05 book it is, you can just pick up a Black Label number 1. It doesn't matter. It's not part of continuity. You can get a fresh take with typically legendary writers and artists behind it.
And it will end.
Yes.
That's the other thing. None of these have been ongoing, these Black Label books.
They're short. They're like 1, 2, 3 issues.
Yeah.
Sometimes one shots, and they are glorious.
Sometimes 4 issues.
Yep, true.
But they end.
So we have Swamp Thing, Green Hell, issue number 1. We have a post-apocalyptic world. Oh, and who's the writer on this? Is it Doug?
No, it's Jeff Lemire with art by Doug.
Oh, Doug. I said Jeff Lemire already.
Right.
Yeah.
Art by Doug Monkey,
Monkey. Yeah.
who did Blackest Night.
Yes.
And if I had my Green Lantern water bottle here, which I somehow don't have today, the art on my bottle is based off of his art.
That's right. We have a world that has been overtaken by water. The ice caps have melted. Humans have resorted to an island to live, and it is tough living. Look at this. This is a
like
little
a
family.
mountaintop.
A mountaintop, yeah.
But flooded. The world is just covered in water. Everything's screwed.
Yeah, it's really bad situation. And even the family who's in this boat, they're going out fishing, and they can't catch anything because the water's been ruined.
Can they see this?
Oh, thank
You
you.
guys can't even see this.
Boom. Ha ha.
There we go.
I'm over here talking about this book.
Swamp Thing, Green Hell.
Green Hell, Jeff Lemire. Let's get into it. Boom. There's the island so you guys can see it. Oh gosh, the art is beautiful. By
It's
the way.
it's the top of a mountain, but it looks like an island when the world's flooded.
There's a boat. People trying to fish on the boat. They're catching remnants of the past.
Like a golf club. I remember they just and of course they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They're so far in the future. This little girl. It's a little girl in this boat. So this is the only world she knows. But her dad's like, oh, that's a golf club. We can't eat that.
That's right. A little confusing for this person and this family because this is an Earth that is so far in the future and it's becoming very difficult to live, but not just for human beings. It's becoming difficult to live for nature. Yes, this is a future where nature creates an abomination to wipe out the remnants of humanity. Boom. We have humans barely making it by, and there has to be a fix. There has to be a balance. Now we have Swamp Thing lore.
Right.
The parliaments.
I'm not as well versed in Swamp Thing as I really need to be.
The green. The
The
vegetation.
Right. That's like the representation of all plant life on Earth.
Which feeds the living, the blood, the red,
Correct. And then there is the rot.
the death, the decay,
And
the
those-
circle of life,
Those three things kind of all keep each other in balance.
or the trifecta.
Sure.
Yeah, there we go. Did we explain that? Okay, Comic Fam, can we
And you
get some
can-
fire emojis in the chat?
Do it.
Do it for me, because we have a Swamp Thing, comic book, and the parliaments are combined. They're making a decision, and this is the decision that they're making. Because the world has been overcome by water, and there's been death and destruction, and there's been it's not going to thrive. Nature has to fight back, and they do that in the form of taking the human remains of someone who's just been damaged and creating something new, something terrifying.
Very terrifying. It's like oh God, I love this page.
This is dark, Comic Fam. This is body horror. This is mature.
When they announced Doug Monkey was doing the artwork on here, I was ecstatic because obviously I'm a giant Green Lantern fan, but I know based on what he did for Blackest Night, that book is full of zombies and half decomposed people and just a lot of graphic grossness.
Right.
On a Swamp Thing book, it's perfect. Like, he does so good on here. And this book is oversized. So
Yes.
it's like you're getting all of this art blown up to mega proportions.
I don't typically like oversized stuff, but I've been very pleased with the oversized books from Black Label because the art is so exquisite. Look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So,
Ooh.
this is nature personified, you know? The blood,
All right, you got the red, the green, and the rot.
the
in the middle
rot. There we go. And look at this. We have someone that they are transforming. And this is the page where it begins. This is only issue 1, Comic Fan. It's been up for a couple months. And we have a reveal that is too good to not tell you about because you got to get ready for issue 2. You got to get your hands on this book. By the way, this book started spiking right out the gate and it was selling for more than cover price. And this is an expensive book. It's like, what, $8 or something?
I think it's like a $7 cover price.
Yeah,
on
there you
these.
go. So this is the swamp creature monstrosity that gets created by nature to start taking out what's left of humans. And yes, you are not seeing this incorrectly. These bodies are being torn in half by the tentacled creature.
Yeah, this is nightmare stuff.
Black Label. That's what I'm talking about. This is what I want to see in comic books.
Yep.
Bodies being ripped in half and shit.
It's
Come
not
on.
the normal Swamp Thing, right? This is not the main character we're used to. This is a freaky, horror, like, different creature that is
Its job is to wipe out humans.
Right.
It's not necessarily an antagonist.
not necessarily.
It's kind of like a Thanos situation.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
It's for your own good. I'm going to kill half of you for your own good because you screwed up.
Right?
This guy's like, I'm just going to kill all you because you screwed up. But it's for your own good.
It's kind of like a Thanos situation. It's kind of like a Ahmed situation.
Is that Moon Knight? You doing Moon Knight?
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit of a Moon Knight thing
A
there.
little bit.
Okay, but take a look at this. This is the kind of stuff that you're getting with Black Label. You're not getting anywhere else.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is nuts. Like,
Ugh.
just crazy body horror in a Swamp Thing book. These people need help. They have to do something. And throughout this comic, it's like, stay away from the hill. Mind you, we're like pretty damn far in this comic, and that's the closest thing we've seen to a hero, and it's not Swamp Thing. It just kind of looks like Swamp Thing.
It's clearly like his evil cousin or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're related because they have the same creation process to a degree, same origin, but it's not. But they talk about this hill that no one goes to. It's dangerous to go see the
The
person
little
in
girl
the
is
hill.
not allowed to go talk to this weird man in the lighthouse.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
But their whole society is basically getting overrun by pirates and this weird swamp guy. So, like, everything's just kind of screwed and all bets are off. So they go to this guy for help.
And who do they go to? They go to one of the coolest characters to have ever been created in the pages of DC Detective Comics, who also debuted in Swamp Thing. One of my favorites, John freaking Constantine.
Your favorites. He's like an old man Constantine here.
Dude, when this page reveal,
Yeah. I was happy for
praise
you.
Thor! We have amazing comics coming out. It's just a good feeling. It's a good feeling to be
So
alive.
whenever this comic does come back for issue 2, I'm excited to see what happens. But it feels like we've been waiting forever. I think this book came out in like December,
That's right.
which is a long time ago now because it's May.
So what do when you go to Constantine for help? He takes care of the situation.
Yeah, but if you
He's
have
got
to go
tricks
to
up his
him for
sleeve.
help, then you're kind of screwed already.
That's a little. It's pretty bad news. So he does what he has to do. He breaks out some of that magic potion.
Okay.
He does his symbols on the floor. He brings back Swamp Thing.
The good Swamp Thing.
And Swamp Thing's pissed because he liked where he was. He thought he was done going to this world, but he's been brought back because the last bit of humanity needs him. And that is why we are so hyped to get issue number 2. Put Jeff Lemire Swamp Thing on your pull list. You will not be disappointed. What do you think about Jeff Lemire? Come on. Killer writer.
Good things. Hopefully.
Only good things, man. Only good things.
He's up there with Donnie and Scott Snyder and James Tynion as far as like best writers in creation right now.
Come on, dude. You know they're all friends over there.
The Mount Rushmore.
I like to think that they all just like text each other to like, do you see what James is thinking about writing?
Swamp Thing, LOL.
Yeah, Swamp Thing, LOL. I'm going to bring Constantine in here.
Yeah, fuck you.
All right.
I'm using it.
I'm using them. I'm using them. All right, comic fam. We are now going to get into a new era of the convention scene. It's been years before we've all come together in the geek domes. The geek domes? Geek locations?
You mean like a convention center?
Yeah, you know.
The Geek Dome?
The geek dome.
They'll call it that.
They'll call it that, right? Eventually, one
Hopefully
day,
not.
they'll do that for us, Ryan. Fire guy Ryan. Lion. All right. With the convention scene coming back so damn soon, you gotta get ready for the hunt because the hunt is never gonna be so exciting. We have dealers that have been waiting to bring collections that they've been collecting, that they've been acquiring for years and haven't gone to shows. And we need to go support these dealers. All of these people. It's the heart of the industry. You go to these shows, you gotta go to the comic section. You have to spend a good amount of time there. If you want comics to be a thing at your comic shows, you got to go and support the comic book creators, artists, writers, letterers, all the people that are there. But you also got to support the people selling the damn comics. And the hunt is going to be strong. So, no better way than to prepare you by hit the like button, slap the subscribe button. We're going to show you some dollar bin keys. And first off, we're going to show you the app that we source these from. We have Key Collector Comics. Use code Tom101 on the best comic app in existence. This right here is something I'm on every single day. This is where I was alerted about all the breaking news over the last week. And some of the news wasn't great, but it was news that was important nonetheless. There are news about shows, option status, and if you use that code, you support the show, but you also get access to the app in its entirety. But take a look at this subscriber benefit. Oh, dollar bin diving. The subscriber benefits unlock when you pay for the app, but that code will get you 2 weeks free. And it's specifically for the things that are going to give you an edge on the hunt. All the other categories are free. First appearances, video game categories, Doctor Strange 2 category, a Moon Knight category. Look at that. They're not locked over here. You can take a look at that. But the ones that are locked are the spec deck, the hot keys, the future keys, the dollar bin diving, because these are the categories that are going to, if used right, put you in a position to find things that could go up in value that you may be able to get on the low, get you ahead of the curve. And this is our pick for some dollar bin keys. We got 10 of them. Hit the like, slap the subscribe. Let's get into it with this first one. You know it's on here because of me.
I was going to say.
I don't mess around, man. I know my Hellboy. And when I saw this on the list, I said, I got to tell the comic fam. This right here is a milestone issue. Hellboy. Dark Horse Presents 200 came out in 2015. This was at a time where Dark Horse Presents was putting out comics that were on like this magazine type of gloss. They were square-bound books. And damn, dude, almost every one of my copies, straight from Diamond, were damaged. So many of them. So this right here is a milestone issue and legacy numbering. High average sales of $18. Look out for this book in the dollar bins. I can tell you as a Hellboy fan, diehard collector, I have some of the biggest Hellboy grails that I've acquired in my life, and one of them I own. Shout out, Salt Lake City Comic Con pamphlet. This book you can find in dollar bins. It's a $20 book and you're in all day. Consider getting it graded if it looks nice enough. Next one on the list. Some books you just need to know. You just need to know. I got to hear it in the chat, comic fam. Who knows this book? If you don't know this book, throw an emoji down. I don't care, but throw an emoji down about how you feel. I want to know how the comic fam's feeling in the chat right now. We got 100 people here in the comic fam community joining us on the mic. We're doing dollar bin keys. Number 9 on the list is Tales of Leonardo. Blind Sight number 3, debuting in 2006. Now, is this a key book? No. But what about this book screams at you first?
The cover, the white. finding, especially if you find this in a dollar bin, probably won't have a bag and board. Probably will have already been passing through so many people's hands and fingers and not really
Rubbing
taken
up
care
against
of.
other comic books.
That too. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Getting some ink on that
Catching
white.
dirt and ink. Yeah. It's finding this in a good condition is going to be difficult, I would imagine.
Yeah, finding this in good condition or at all. The total copies ordered by retailers is approximately 2,300 for a TMNT book. Hot damn. This book hits $55 high average sales. You got to burn this image into your noggin. You can get lucky on the hunt if you find issue 3 of Tales of Leonardo Blind Sight number 3. All right, next on the list is, boom, number 8.
Cool.
We have a March 24th exclusive announcement. Richard Rider. Oh, excuse me. March 24, key alert, exclusive. Richard Rider, aka Nova, looks like to be joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe as sources tell Deadline that Marvel is developing a Nova project with Moon Knight Scribe, and it is unknown for now whether this will be developed into a feature film or a limited series for Disney+. However, we know that Kevin Feige's been teasing Nova being introduced into the MCU for 4 years now. And this is the closest we've ever gotten. But which Nova are we going to see? Sam Alexander? Richard Rider? Probably both. And this is the first time that both these characters meet. It goes for $20 high average sales, debuting in 2016. Find these in those dollar bins. And Ryan, how many times have we talked about on the mic? Dollar bin books that have spiked because there are meetings of characters.
A lot of times. It just makes sense. That's like,
It's a no-brainer.
I'm thinking of like Spider-Man or something when Miles and Peter Parker first meet up, and like,
We talked about that one for sure.
I'm sure you did. That
You
makes
did with
sense.
me. I'm pretty
I
sure
did.
that, yeah, we were on the mic. You've been doing this show for like a bunch of podcasts now, Ryan.
We've been doing
Fire
a
Guy
bunch
Ryan.
of them.
Ryan started the fire!
Okay.
All I know is Nova is Marvel's Green Lantern.
There it is. And you like Green Lantern.
I do, but if Marvel gets a Nova out before DC gets a good Green Lantern out, I'm gonna be so angry.
He's going to be pissed, Comic Fam. All right. I'm not seeing any emojis in the chat. So, Comic Fam, you're letting me down right now. What's going on? Okay, here we go. We have next on the list at number 7, Moon Knight issue number 53. This is an oldie from 1993. I was Tres Años when this came out. But take a look at this. This book goes for $12 average sales on the high end. I think this is a easy, I don't know what that was, easy $20 book all day long in high grade. Why? Because we have a kind of infinity cover happening with Gambit holding 3 cards, the middle card being the same image that he's on, the cover. But who are the other 2 cards?
Werewolf by Night is on the left, the King of Spades, and the King of Clubs is Moon Knight.
That's right. We have, is that clubs? Yeah, it is clubs from this angle. I can't really see it. We have Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, and Gambit on one cover. I'm just letting you know, Comic Fam, this is just a cool book. I think this is just a
Just a
dope
straight
comic.
cover thing?
Yeah, it's
Nothing
just a
on the
cover
inside
thing.
that makes it worthwhile?
No, it's not a key book. It's just a cover that features characters that people love with a character, a mutant that people adore. And we have Gambit holding cards like he does with multiple characters that are like prominent on Disney+. And you know we're going to get Gambit in the MCU here shortly. Let me read you this alert. The Godzilla-verse, Monsterverse, that began with the 2014 film and continue with the King Kong films will expand on Apple TV with a live-action series. Details on what characters or when to expect them are scarce. This was an announcement that happened just months ago, and we told you about this, Comic Fam. So much so that we showed you this alert. Look at this key alert right here. Boom. That's what happens when you have the Key Collector app. You get these alerts and you get notified of books that you should consider. Godzilla, 31 books. King Kong, 8 books. Not a whole lot of key books as it pertains to these particular characters. Yet, just takes a show to start changing things. But I wanted to point out a handful of Godzilla books, and this is going to count as number 6. So I'm giving you some bonus comics. Comic Fam, hit the like button. You're getting bonus comics on your list of 10. Look at this. Godzilla, boom, issue number 9. Just a cool book. Keep in mind, none of these covers are key books besides Bob Eagleton drew them. Okay, that's it. Classic art, cool cover, but this right here is Godzilla number 9. Godzilla number 10. Look at this. This is my favorite with the lightning.
Yeah, that was really cool.
It's
Thrown
really
out of the
cool.
water.
Mm-hmm. And this is Godzilla number 11, shooting that laser stuff out of his mouth, right? I'm a big fan of kaiju.
It's got a name. It's like, I know this, and certain people are going to be mad at me for forgetting.
It's like plasma or something.
It's like nuclear or something. There's a word for his fire breath. It's not fire breath or lightning bolts.
Something. Help us out in the chat, comic fan.
I'm letting people down right now.
What we're hearing early word of is that the Apple TV live show is going to follow a family as a terrain, make their way through the multiple different terrains or parts of America.
Like a road trip?
Yeah, it's like a road trip type of thing where they're going to see a world that's filled with kaijus. So we're probably going to get like a monster of the week type of narrative. And these books, issues number 9, 10, is that what I said? Yeah, 9, 10, and 11. These are books that I can tell you, you're going to find multiples of these in dollar bins. I've been buying Dark Horse books for quite a long time because they were always so cheap. They are made on such crappy paper. So they're super tough and high grade. Look at these dark covers. Like you were just talking about the white covers. The dark covers.
Yeah. I was thinking about that with the first Godzilla on here. It had a really dark border.
Yeah.
I think this one's my favorite, though.
Yeah, is that one your favorite?
Out of the three.
Which one's your favorite comic, fam, of the three? Because in order, these all came out in 1996. In order of 9, 10, and 11, 20, $15, and $25 high average sales, respectively. And I think that is conservative numbers because Atomic Breath. There it is. Thank you. We appreciate you guys.
I was so wrong.
So keep an eye out for your Godzilla.
They all know it. They all know. They probably all just Googled it because they don't know. Nobody knows.
Before there was baby Grogu, there was baby Groot. We heard in the last couple weeks, Vin Diesel went on record and said, "Hey, Alpha Groot is coming." That's what he called it.
The original version, like the Guardians original Groot, the big grown-up one?
I think of Alpha meaning like the biggest version, the most powerful version. Like we're going to get Groot back in his prime. And it could be original. It could be beyond the original. I don't know. You know?
Interesting.
So before Grogu, there was Baby Groot. And Baby Groot was the cutest thing that anyone ever seen. You know,
nobody cares.
No, nobody cares because Baby Groot,
he's a
Grogu took over.
Teenager now.
That's right. But I think it's at a moment in time in the MCU where we're probably not going to see it again. Maybe until like the Guardians of the Galaxy, like holiday special. You got to have Baby Groot in that. You know, it's cute. But this is a character that had his first cameo appearance in Groot number 4 that debuted in 2015. Again, $12 high average sales. I see this book being an easy and high grade $20 book. You can find this in the dollar bin. People don't know this book.
Right? I would never think this comic was anything special. If I was just skimming through the dollar bins. It's a book. It's a series that I never read.
Think about the next fans in the next decade who are kids when they saw this. And they remember Baby Grogu, or Baby Groot. They had the plush toys, you know? Yep. They had the little tree and the thing that is like little bobblehead thing that went like this and this and that, you know? It's like that's the kind of stuff that long term people aren't going to spec on because we're using our 30-plus-year-old brains here to assess a marketplace when a whole other generation is experiencing this for the first time without our burden of what we've experienced as a kid. Because we grew up on the animated series. We grew up on Saturday morning cartoons. They're growing up with Disney freaking Plus. All right, let's do it. Speaking of Baby Grogu, but completely different run and timeline. Star Wars Darth Vader number 5 coming out in 2017. We were talking about Charles Soule already, who did a bunch of Star Wars, which is awesome. I recommend this run, even to people who are not as like well-versed or a big fan of Star Wars, because I enjoyed it, because my favorite part of Star Wars is Anakin, Darth Vader, Lord Vader, you know, full Sith Lord. And this is where you actually find the origin of Darth Vader's red lightsaber. $15 high average sales for this book. Easy $20 to $25 book, dude. This should be a $30 book. And this is the run that you really see this history develop. This is where Anakin gets, you know, post the fighting on the hill, and Anakin cuts his limbs off. You know, he's badly burned, and he gets rebuilt by Emperor Palpatine. But he gets
your Star Wars knowledge.
Dude, this is what the comic fan has done. I was never into Star Wars until like the last couple of years, but you know what? I'm in it to win it. And what do you think about this cover? Because the reason why I think this needs to be in your noggin, comic fam, is because of the cover alone.
Really, you like the cover?
No. I think I like it because of the origin of Darth Vader's red lightsaber.
Cover, but it's hard.
The cover is atrocious. This right here is a recipe for Marvel to bring back a cover to another print to lighten it up.
Give it a different, honestly, that's a big point of it. It's too dark to know what's happening.
Does anyone in the chat even, like, the first glimpse see, like, what we're seeing? Can you even tell what this is?
Maybe it looks better on their screen.
Maybe, because we were broadcasting
it looks really
well.
dark right here. I think the cover just is dark in general.
It is a dark cover.
If
It's
it wasn't
hard
for
to
that
see.
eyeball, it would be impossible to tell what's happening. There's an eyeball there right in the middle. You're looking at like a shattered Darth Vader mask.
This right here is something that people will skim past.
Right.
And this is a tough one. This is a tough one to like not know and to miss out. Like you're going to see this in dollar bins. I think you're going to see it even for cover price. Keep an eye out for this book. I believe in this book. Anything that is like tied to Star Wars canon, specifically Vader, is one that you should grab and you should know and remember the covers. All right, Shauna McGuire, my old babysitter. She's not old, but like when I was younger, my babysitter. She is a writer on Spider-Gwen during this time. Shauna McGuire wrote Ghost Spider. This run from like 2018. This one, no. This was like 2020. Well, it's Ghost Rider 7, so like 2019 to 2020. This is Ghost Spider number 7. Copies ordered by retailers, 17,000. This is a $10 book, and Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen, is to me the most promising next-gen hero to spec on long-term. I think Miles Morales is clearly the leader of that pack right now.
Okay.
And I think Spider-Gwen is a close second. The prices haven't caught up, but the Greg Land variant for the 1 in 25 first appearance of Ghost Spider just had a record breaker this last week. So keep up with Spider-Gwen.
Is this a Patrick Gleason cover?
I'm not sure.
It looks like it might be his signature down there under the logo.
Who is this cover?
Dress.
I didn't look this up. If someone knows in the chat, let me know who this cover is, but definitely one that is just stunning.
I love the
I love the
horizontal
pose.
Almost.
It's like a pole almost. It's a pole move almost, but
does.
but it also has because she's so flexible, you know.
Clearly.
It's a spider, right?
Yep.
And her freaking shoes. They're like they're little.
Bent. She bends her feet real hard.
It's like it's like a dancer's.
Like a ballerina shoes.
Like a balance. Yeah, exactly. And the webbing. I love this cover. The vertical text gets me, Comic Fam.
Yep.
I love the vertical text.
That's cool.
All right, so affordable book, but it's more than just Ghost Spider. It is covers that feature Ghost Spider that make you stop and look. All right. Next, we have She-Hulk. We have a cover featuring Titania versus She-Hulk. There's not a whole lot of covers featuring this character and fighting on them that look as good as this. She-Hulk number 11 coming out in 2005. Copies ordered by retailers, a lonely 23,000. Jamil is going to be portraying this She-Hulk villain on Disney+. The Hollywood Reporter announced that, and the consideration is that it may be the version from Secret Wars issue number 3. So this right here, I just think is a stunning cover. It goes for, on average, $12 high sales, but I can see this reaching 15 to 20 easily when members get introduced to this character. Paul Pope. Oh, yeah, it was a Paul Pope. That makes way more
sense.
sense.
Run of She-Hulk is supposed to be really cool. I need to read more She-Hulk. I've only tried the first 2 issues out of this current run. I need more. I need more older stuff.
And number 1 on our list, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, Ultimate Comics Spider-Man number 2. Why is the third appearance of Miles Morales on the list at number 1? How are we going to find this in the dollar bin?
Yeah, why is this in dollar bins? It should not be. That should not be.
It's the first appearance of Ganke Lee, best friend of Miles Morales.
Okay.
Double key. Third appearance to me is still a key. Here's the thing. In what world does the first appearance of the 1 in 25 Djevik variant, Ultimate Fallout 4 of Miles Morales, I said that kind of weird, but you guys are following me, hit $30,000 at a 9.8? And we see issue number 2, second appearance of Spike. But the third appearance goes for $30 high average sales.
That's a big drop off.
$30. So the reason why I put this at number 1 is because I believe that this may still be out there. It may not be just dollar bins. It's going to be tough to find this one in the dollar bin. I think all the other ones are going to be easier. However, this book could easily be priced at $10, $15, $20, $25. I'm going to even say it one step further. $30. And if it's high grade, if it's like 9.6, 9.8 potential, I would grab it. Third appearance of Miles Morales. You think this book won't spike up? So
Sure.
This is definitely you got to know it on the hunt. Look for it in those dollar bins, but check out the $2 bins, the $5 bins. If you see a 15, 20 plus dollar tag on it, keep it under 30 in my opinion. You got to have a high threshold for, high grade again.
That spine is, I'm already looking, just the image makes me cringe because that is an all black there's a heavy black margin they're using for both ends of this image, and that spine is going to be difficult.
It's going to be a tough book is what you're saying, Ryan.
Yeah.
All right, so keep up on the market. Make sure that you download Geek Collector Comics, use that code Tom101, and that right there is podcast number 58. We made it, comic fam. We did it. Hit the like, slap the subscribe. Make sure to comment on your way out because it'll enter you to win an Omni-Man Invincible #1 Whatnot exclusive. We got to see those comments though. And as always,
Geek responsibly.
enough said. I got to come up with a different ending because I
That
do
one
the
doesn't
enough
really work
said
anymore.
and the transition and all that. We're officially done with podcast number 48. 40.
We've been
I
done
did
with that
great
one.
the whole podcast calling it 58.
You did.
Instead, I called it 48. We went long, dude.
I normally don't drink this much on
Good.
camera.
Not
but
not too long. Like an hour and a half with the pre-show. Oh yeah, yeah. Ryan's like, I need it.
It's so hot in here.
This is my for the comic fam who are still here. This right here is my
I need one of those.
my air conditioning for this room right now. My solution. It's not a great solution. All the ice is melted in here.
Of course it has. I feel like I am melted in here.
I'm kidding.
Ugh.
I'm kidding, Ryan. The ice is still there after an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's really good ice. Butch
Oh.
is startled.
Boom. Is that better, Ryan?
Kinda.
Let's cool Ryan off.
Basically a fan. At
Butch
this
is
point.
here the whole time. If you didn't know, he's been on this table. I am starting to sweat a little bit.
I am already there.
Comic
So,
fam, join me. Hey, I hate to ask you again to just plug it, but tomorrow's gonna be a really big day for us on Whatnot. 5 p.m. I need you guys there. It's gonna be a hoot. We have Batman Adventures, Mad Love at a 9.8. It's an expensive book, man. It's over $600. I want to say this book is gonna hit like $700 to $800. It should be $1,000 book. I need the community there. Join us over on Whatnot. It's gonna be a badass time. But I'm letting it go at $1 and seeing where it goes. Ryan.
Water done.
He drank his whole thing of water. I get so mad at you, Ryan.
He's laughing, but he's gonna. Hit
I'm
me.
like, no, but then I get
He's gonna hit
physical.
me
I get physical
when we're
man.
done.
I appreciate you, dude. Thanks for being here. Comic fan, thanks for being here. I'm pretty caliente. I'm gonna I'll probably let you go now.
Get the hell out of this room. So yeah, goodbye everyone.
That's it. We're done.
See you guys.